people using the protocols and the formulations and the solutions that Dr. Joel Wallach provides without us as health coaches having to know all the answers. Dr. Wallach already knows the answers, so we're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're just bringing an extended voice on all of the hard work that he has done through the decades in helping humanity. And not just humanity, but also our little fur babies and even the wild ones. Dr. Wallach, you started out working with some of the wild ones and then the tame ones that came from the wild. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc. And folks, if you do not know who Dr. Wallach is, Dr. Wallach holds a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. He has a doctorate in veterinary medicine and 3 postdoctorates in pathology, which is not where I would want to go. But then he took all of that information from those decades of research and putting information together and finding all of these, what would you call them? I mean, Dr. Wallach, when you find the cause, prevention, and cure of a disease that's been told to be genetic in humans, and you find it in monkeys multiple times, and then you write papers on it, when you have a whole flock of sheep die in one night, and they bring 50 of them to you, and you do all of the research on it, Dr. Wallach, and you find the cause, and you write a paper on it, and all of these published, I think you have over almost 100 published peer-reviewed studies, in addition to the 24, 25 books that you've published and all of the CDs. We've got about 100 different CDs, Dr. Wallach, where you have been captured with intention, with direct information to help people claim a better health journey. So folks, if you don't know who Dr. Wallach is, be prepared to listen fast, because he does speak fast, and I'm going to remind him to slow down right now, because I can't even go as fast as he goes when it comes to taking notes and following and keeping up with him, because he is absolutely incredible. And just focus on what is being said instead of trying to take notes and then lose, oh, what did he say before? And you're losing all that information, because these replays are available out on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. So if you're not already subscribed to any of our channels, what's your favorite? If you got YouTube, look up Critical Health News. If you're on Rumble, look up Critical Health News. If you're on Facebook, look up Critical Health, and subscribe or follow our channels so that you don't miss a beat, and you can go back and listen to our programs as many times as you want or need. So hello out there in YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. If you would like to join us live here in our Zoom room, you are more than welcome to. Go to dailywithdoczoom.com. That's dailywithdoczoom.com. And we've got Coach AJ out there helping keep track of all of the comments and questions that are on YouTube, which has just been absolutely fantastic. You know, folks, we're able to surround ourselves with some amazing people that are like-minded, who have a heart for others, who know that the system that people usually rely on has been failing us for years. And it's time to take our health into our own hands and use the research and the fact that we're not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient when our bodies are riddled with pain and agony and disease. So Dr. Wallach, tell us, what do you have for us today? Because I know you bring information each and every day that brings us the ability to help ourselves.
We're exactly right. And information is the best medicine. Information is the medicine that heals. it brings life and offends the bad guys, whether they're germs or people. Okay. And I just want to give a little introductory here before we talk about the talk of the day, which I believe we're going to talk about the heart. Everybody's got one. Okay. And people say, well, come on, Wallach. I had people call me from Chicago today because of all these movie stars and TV stars and actors and actresses and singers and all these. They're all having all these health problems. And the doctors are saying, well, you've got, 6 months to live. You got 2 years to live. You got 10 years to live and all this kind of stuff. And some of their followers are coming to me and saying, well, can you help these people? And I say, well, yeah. And so I'm going to just give a few examples here. Danny Glover, great movie star, comedian in the African-American community in the world. Okay. He came to us, he had seizures and epilepsy. We put him on our program and it was gone in months. And he became one of the, what should I say, contributors to the book, The Wallach Revolution. There you go. He did the last chapter called The Afterword, okay? He tells his story, how we helped him get rid of his problem. And then there's Pat Boone, very famous singer and movie star. He had arthritis, osteoporosis, really debilitating, and he was a mess. And they wanted to do all kinds of surgery on him. And he heard of our story about Theo Ratliff, how we had saved him, the basketball player. And Rebecca and I are working on a podcast for that, and that'll be out soon to tell the story in great detail. And we got Pat Boone on it and saved him. And so he wrote the foreword to the book. He wrote the foreword to this book, The Wallach Revolution. He volunteered to do that. He didn't take any pay for it. He just did it because he wanted to make sure people knew the answers. And then Evander Holyfield, great heavyweight boxer, lost his heavyweight title because he had a heart attack, during the break before the last round of a defense of his title against Michael Moore. And so by default, he lost his title. I came up with a healthy brain and heart pack for him, just like Theo Ratliff. I came up with a healthy bone and joint pack. Evander Holyfield came up with a healthy brain and heart pack, rebuilt him. He came back in less than 9 months and destroyed Mike Tyson and got his title back. Now, who comes back from a near fatal heart attack and beats somebody like Mike Tyson in a heavyweight battle? Okay, then we had, let's see here, Jerry Lewis. I worked with Jerry Lewis for years, and I found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy, gave it to Jerry Lewis. He was very excited, proved it to him. He took it in 2011, September of 2011, to the annual telethon of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis, put a gag order on him so he couldn't say anything to the press, and they shut down the telethon. And then, let's see here, Pastor Mike Freeman from Baltimore, Maryland, great pastor up on the East Coast of the United States. He was in a coma for 6 weeks or more. The doctors didn't give him much hope, just maybe hours or days, and told the family better come say their goodbyes. And one of our great associates in longevity, Linda Tyler, she was a member of his church up there in Baltimore, Maryland. She called me, anything we can do for him? I said, does he have a G-tube we can put stuff in? No. Does he have an IV we can put stuff in? No. Okay, just take our plant minerals, or liquid plant minerals, and rub them on his back and his belly, his chest. And in 3 days' time, he wakes up, shaves, goes down to his TV studio and his radio studio at the church, tells his story over and over and over for 12 hours. And fortunately, he recorded it all. We made a wonderful set. It's a DVD and a CD called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. If you've ever been in the military, you know what that means, Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. And then there's Kelly Herron from the University of Tennessee, a very tall lady and a teenager. And she was, on their basketball team. And she had the same thing that Theo Ratliff had. Oh, my terrible arthritis in her right shoulder and her back. She came to one of my meetings there when I was there in Tennessee. And we got her going on the same program, the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack that we had made, and our rebound for Theo Ratliff, cured her. She came back in just a couple of months and was elevated to let's see here, an All-American in basketball, women's basketball, All-American, Kelly Herron. And so these are the sort of people, I just picked out a handful, but we have hundreds and hundreds of wealthy, famous, great business people, political people, sports people, who have had their problems resolved by our programs. And I can tell you for sure, since the 30 years we've been doing this, we have cured, let me use that word again, we have cured thousands and thousands and thousands of people of many, many horrible diseases. So we're encouraging you to come to our health coaches, come to our distributors, come to our members and ask for help. Okay, and we don't charge anything for our time. We just charge you wholesale for the products. If you get an auto ship, we pay the shipping. And so with all this said, we're ready to now to move on to the next step here. And of course, we have so many great stories about the heart.
Before you move on, Dr. Wallach, I just want to point out something. Because of all of your research that you have done, and specifically with some specific minerals,
yes,
you have been given the Klaus Schwartz Award, commemorative award. Or the Klaus Schwartz? Yeah.
yeah, Klaus Schwartz Award.
For your study and work, which then deemed you one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics, which is one of my favorite books, folks.
Well, I'm very proud of that, of course, to be a founder of a science replaces an old false science. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. The title, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. And that genetic theory is if they can't find something wrong with you, they blame it on your genes. Well, folks, you've got great genes. And if you look back through history, you might be the first one to ever have these issues. So how can it be genetic? It's not. It's a nutritional deficiency. Whether that nutritional deficiency has been since you've been breathing air or prior to even your thought of being conceived or in the womb with nutritional deficiencies that mama didn't even know she had.
Well, they didn't do anything about it back then. They didn't, certainly the average person didn't. They were just happy when they weren't hungry because they had a belly full of food. And of course, the thing that people have to appreciate is that plants do not make minerals. Plants make vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids, but 2/3 of the essential nutrients are minerals. Now, prior to 3:00 in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street, New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge, everybody was using wood and coal as fuel, putting the wood ashes into the garden, and wood ashes contain minerals because the tree had sucked the minerals up out of the ground. They burn the wood and coal and get the ashes, put them in their gardens. And they knew that it increased the yield of the gardens. And grandma couldn't afford the expensive spices, so she would put some of the wood ashes from the wood stove in the fireplace into your food, your stew and your soup and that kind of stuff. Spice it up a little bit, get some minerals that way. And nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And so some places have a few, some places have none, some places have a lot. And the places that had a lot where people lived a long time, we're saying the land, what they had.
Flowing with milk and honey.
The land flowing with milk and honey. Now, it wasn't cow's milk. I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where were these cows coming from in the days of the Garden of Eden. They didn't have any cows, herds, and goat herds in the Garden of Eden producing milk for Adam and Eve. Okay, so what was going on here? It turns out that the land flowing with milk and honey was mineral milk. Okay, it was ground up rocks that looked white, turned the creeks white. And these places that had all these minerals coming down in the creeks from the hills and the mountains, this is where people lived a long time. Okay, Methuselah lived to be 969. And then you get Noah. Noah, I thought he only lived to be 500 and something. That was his son. Noah lived to be 950 when I went and looked it up officially, okay, and so forth. Because they were living in a land flowing with milk and honey. They were getting all these minerals, okay? And it's one of those things where we spent a long time when we started American Longevity First, which became Youngevity. And we didn't want to be just another vitamin mineral company and competing with everybody else with the same formula. And so we spent a lot of time coming up with who lived the longest, who was the healthiest, who had the fewest diseases. And so we spent a lot of time going around the world and studying what people ate, how they cooked, how they farmed. And sure enough, the people who were putting wood ashes or plant ashes from various crops that they would grow, or seaweed ashes, into their food, as well as their garden, they were the ones that lived the longest. So that's why we came up with the plant-derived minerals. All our minerals come through plants. In other words, the plants sucked them out of the ground, and then they died thousands or millions of years ago, and the minerals were still there, but the organic part of the plant went away. And so that's the minerals we use are plant-derived minerals. These aren't just ground up rocks. These are plant-derived minerals, okay? And so we're very, very proud of that. And so this is why we have such a wonderful response. And we deal with over 600 different diseases and symptoms. We have 5,000 different products. And we are just so happy to be able to help so many people. And of course, right now, again, there's so many famous people of every sport, industry, movies, entertainment, everything you can think of, who are coming down with all these diseases because they're not eating properly. Okay. Because
But Dr. Wallach, their doctors have them on the 4 food groups and they're eating quote unquote healthy.
well, but see, you have to appreciate plants don't make minerals, right? We don't have wood ashes or coal ashes anymore. And they're saying, don't take supplements. You're just wasting your money. Just eat well, you get everything you eat.
And don't eat eggs and don't eat butter and don't salt your food.
Yeah. Well, here's the first thing they need to ask their doctor. What is myelin? What is the myelin in the brain and the spinal cord? What is it made out of? And what's the percentage of myelin in the brain and spinal cord? Well, this myelin makes up 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight. And myelin is 100% cholesterol. What? It's the white matter of your brain. It's the insulation material in your brain is cholesterol. It's your best friend. And so when you don't have enough cholesterol, you get Alzheimer's disease. Okay. You get MS, multiple sclerosis. You get Parkinson's disease. Okay. You get Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is MS of your spinal cord. And now there's a new one out, FTD, okay, frontal temporal dementia. It's kind of a Alzheimer's disease that affects the front of the brain, the sides of the brain, but the back half of the brain is okay. So you have your mechanics of your brain are still good, but the thinking part you're losing. Okay. This is all because people are being put on drugs to reduce cholesterol or eliminate cholesterol, and they're being told not to eat eggs. Believe me, don't go there. Change doctors, get a different doctor.
I agree. So Dr. Wallach, let's talk about the heart.
Okay.
I mean, because we've got a room full of people with hearts. We have people out on YouTube and on Rumble and on Facebook.
Everybody in the world
hearts.
has a heart. Everybody in the world has a heart.
Well, and even our pets have hearts.
That's right. So
what can we do to support the heart?
Okay, well, the heart requires all 90 essential nutrients. Now, the heart, we figured this out the other day. I don't know if you still have that easy access. How many times the heart is supposed to beat? The heart beats, between 60 and 80 times a minute, depending on if you're just sitting there working on paperwork or you're walking or sleeping. Okay, but 60 to 80 times a minute is about right. 80 times a minute when you're active and 60 times a minute when you're sleeping or sitting talking. And when you add it up, for a year, you're talking about billions of times your heart beats.
It was like 2.8 billion times that your heart beats.
Almost 3 billion times. And your heart never stops beating. When you're asleep, it's beating. Okay. No matter what you're doing, your heart is beating. And we have to really thank it. Oh, thank you, heart. Okay. And so we have to be good to it. Now, the heart is one of the things that requires all 90 essential nutrients. When you don't get certain nutrients, the heart stops and dies. And one of the things you die from is what's called sudden infant death syndrome when you're a baby. SID, sudden infant death syndrome. It's caused by the same thing that causes the same disease in turkeys. We learned about it in turkeys. It's a single nutritional deficiency, and the heart stops. And this is what causes SID. SID is not caused by the mothers laying on the babies, as doctors said over and over and over for years and years and years. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. all these young athletes dying in their teens and 20s and 30s and 40s. That's why we have this 3D set. There's a new bull in town that athletes don't lie. Exercise without supplementation is suicide. Thank you. Exercise without supplementation is suicide. And also what kills billionaires, because you think billionaires, they can afford the best food, and their average life expectancy is 66. Okay, there you go.
So, folks, what does that say? Exercise without supplementation is suicide.
It's correct. You will die soon. Okay, now my attorney, Jonathan Emord, and I, we sued the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, 8 times in federal court so we could put these nutrients, these minerals, into baby formulas, because doctors had prevented that for years and years, decades. They had prevented putting minerals in baby formulas like Infamil and Similac. All those minerals are poisonous. You can't do that. So we had to go sue in federal court. We prevailed. We got those minerals into the baby formulas. Within 90 days, we had eliminated cystic fibrosis, supposed to be the most terrible birth defect of all. And of course, I discovered the first non-human case at Yerkes Primate Center in a monkey. And let's see here. Here's me with one of those Yerkes monkeys.
I got it.
You got it. There you go.
You're my favorite book.
Yeah, there you go. And then also, as I say, the sudden death syndrome was caused by the same deficiency, and that went away. And also, muscular dystrophy went away. Jerry Lewis was so happy about that. And your heart is a muscle, okay? And so it requires all these nutrients. And so the heart requires these nutrients. If you give your heart all the nutrients it needs in an absorbable form, stay away from things like gluten, wheat, brown rice, oats, buckwheat, so you can absorb. Stay away from all the inflammatory things like oils, salad dressings, cooking oils, fried foods of all kinds. And then you take these nutrients, your heart will be happy and do its job. And just you just want it beating all the time and not, causing any chest pain and not causing any problems in distant places in your body, because if it's not functioning efficiently, it can't get the blood to where the blood needs to go and so forth. And the heart will, kind of spiral downward and end your life. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we found the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis. We found the cause, prevention, cure of muscular dystrophy. We found the cause and prevention of sudden death syndrome. We found the cause, prevention, and cure of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, which is what kills all these young athletes.
Say that slowly, Dr. Wallach.
We found the cause, prevention, and cure, okay, of the sudden death syndrome in athletes, okay, which is caused by nutritional deficiencies of the heart. And then, of course, when you get atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, or it's also known as AFib, atrial fibrillation. You can have, let's see here, tachycardia, which is a fast heart rate, or bradycardia, which is a slow heart rate. And all the doctors want to anesthetize you, cut your chest open, take your heart out, take a branding iron and touch your heart, trying to find the place in your heart that's causing all this trouble. It's an osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, okay, which is what controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. Okay.
Here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a nerve that's being squeezed, how does cutting open your chest, spreading out your rib cage, and touching the heart to figure out where it's got things going awry?
Because the doctors don't know that it's a nerve problem. They are taught in school, you've got to stop this heart from doing stupid things. They're taught in school to take your heart out and touch it with a hot branding iron and find the place of the heart that's making it run amok. They're taught that in medical school. They know nothing about AFib. They know nothing about cardiomyopathy. Okay, a simple nutrition deficiency.
I have several people that email me saying, I had an ablation and I'm still having these problems. I would never go through that pain again because they're still having discomfort. Can you imagine? They wire that back together and then they sew you up. So you have this beautiful scar and hopefully they made it straight. I can't imagine, Dr. Wallach, and especially to have it be something that's totally unrelated to the heart, other than the nerves that attach to it.
It's the nerves going from the skull, the 10th cranial nerve. And this is why we came out with this book and CD, and you're part of that. Okay. The book and the CD, and Dr. Milan and myself. Okay. It's called It's All in Your Head. Thank you. And go to page 6. And page 6 is my favorite page. Favorite picture is the top picture is a normal skull. The cap's been taken off of the skull, the autopsy, and you're looking down on the brain. But you see the skull is only a quarter of an inch thick, uniformly all around the brain. The bottom picture is a skull that has osteoporosis at autopsy. The skull's been taken, the top of the skull has been taken off. You're looking down on the brain. You notice the skull is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, but that's not bone. That is connective tissue, because that's osteoporosis of the skull. There's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. There's, let's see here, including the 10th one, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. And then it's the spinal cord. And they all get squeezed, you know, when your heart and when your skull looks like the bottom one, they're getting squeezed. And your doctor sends you to all his classmates who are specialized in these different things. And you go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. You get hearing aids. You go to the doctor and you get a cane because you have dizziness. You go to another doctor, you get glasses because you're seeing vision problems or having vision problems. And you're getting up 10 times at night to urinate. And the doctor wants to do a prostate removal, but you're a girl. You can't remove your prostate because girls don't have prostate glands. So what's causing you to get up 10 times a night to urinate, whether you're a girl or a boy? The skull is squeezing the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is telling your urinary bladder to urinate. Okay? Has nothing to do with the prostate gland. 99% of the time, when they take your prostate gland out, there was nothing wrong with it, but they have kids in college and tuition is due.
That's crazy. Where that one is your favorite page, Dr. Wallach, this is my favorite spread right here, because it's showing the 12 cranial nerves, and it's telling you the common conditions that are associated with that cranial nerve. I mean, I'm a visual person, where yours definitely, I mean, oh, wow, that's a big difference. But mine, it's showing me exactly what those nerves are attached to.
Yeah, and it tells you in that line across the page what diseases you're going to be diagnosed with if that nerve is being squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull.
Yes, common diseases produced by osteoporosis of the skull. And then it lists them. And then even symptoms, folks, double vision, your eyes turning inwards, deafness, tinnitus, ringing in your ears, a gag reflex. All of these things that we go through test after test after test, and they can't find anything wrong with us. Well, guess what? No, they're not going to find anything wrong, because it's the nerves that are attaching, and they're not looking at the nerves, and they're not looking at the skull to see if it is indeed squeezing those nerves, causing all of these issues downstream. It's with the knowledge that I have, Dr. Wallach, I look back and think all of those things that I went through trying to figure out what was wrong with me was so complicated, where it's a simple solution.
Yeah, and of course,
you've got it.
And this is how I was able to figure all this out. When you do 32,000 autopsies in over 454 species of animals, including humans, and they all have the same symptoms, it can't be genetic if you're getting the same symptoms that an elephant has or a wombat has, and so forth.
Good point.
And so, unless you're running around having sex with wombats, right? And so, it's one of those things where there's a mechanical or a chemical thing going on there, and over time, we figured this out and put it all into this book. It's all in your head. And it's, you know, it's selling like crazy because people say, my whole family has all this stuff and doctors can't fix it. And we put them on your program, and in 2 weeks' time it was gone, and they had these problems for years.
Well, and Dr. Wallach, if you've got osteoporosis of the skull, it's the same protocol that you would put somebody on that has osteoporosis of the spine.
That's correct.
Or the joints.
But the thing is, the doctors do it differently, though. When you have osteoporosis of your knees, they're going to give you a double knee replacement. You have osteoporosis of your hips, they're going to give you a double hip replacement. If you have osteoporosis of the skull, can they do a double head replacement?
I bet they've tried. But they want to report because that's too gruesome, Dr. Wallach. We don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
We don't want to go there. Well, folks, we have so many hands that are up and questions that are coming in from all over. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to plug in and get Dr. Wallach's books. Go to drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. And there you will find all of Dr. Wallach's books and CDs and DVDs that tell the story. So be informed, get those texts into your hands. We do have some that are ebooks, some that are audio that are available as well. Well, let's go to the first hand that is up, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And I think Kim is the first one to put her hand up. So Kim, welcome to Daily with Doc. And go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, doctor.
Hi, how can we help you?
I have someone I've been working with for about a month now. He started with the Healthy Body Pack, and he does have the good bad food list. He is 67 years old. He's 6 foot tall, weighs 187 pounds. He has just been recently diagnosed with diverticulitis, so he wants to know what he can add to help with that.
Okay, well, diverticulitis is very easy. Okay, it's a small intestine problem. Okay, the diverticula are the little sacs between the villi. Okay, in the small intestine, have to do with absorption. And this guy has just changed his diet. No fried foods, no processed meats, no ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, spam, hot dogs, all that stuff's got to go. No oils, no salad dressing, no cooking oils, absolutely no gluten, no wheat, butter, or oats. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. That includes, because of the gluten in oats is sometimes called gliadin, but it's still gluten. No buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat does have a substance in it called phago, F-A-G-O pyrines, which are worse than gluten. No sugar, and then no carbonation. Even the diet drinks got to go, as well as carbonated water, because it neutralizes your stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. At 187 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose thing twice a day, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. I want him to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes your bone cell. Also needs the Ultimate Daily, let's see here, let's back up. He also needs the collagen peptides. Let's go with that with his morning drink, go with his evening drink. Then he needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month, so he can get support of blood flow into the brain, into the heart, into the lungs, into the intestines, into the kidneys, and so forth. And then a secret sauce here that's going to help speed up the healing and function of the intestines. And that is, he needs to get our ultimate enzymes. Get 2 bottles a month of our ultimate enzymes, and take 2 or 3, say 5 to 10 minutes before each meal. I take 2 or 3 before each meal. I'm only 142 pounds. We call the ultimate enzymes a gallbladder in a bottle, because people who have their gallbladder removed, this will replace their gallbladder. Ultimate enzymes. Take 2 or 3 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal. That's going to help absorption, and diverticulitis goes away. It's not a genetic thing. It's not an autoimmune thing. It's the destruction of the cells in the intestinal tract because of consumption of gluten and buckwheat and other inflammatory foods. Okay, so this is a very easy one. We deal with this all the time.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay, yeah, give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how this guy's doing, because they can recover very quickly. Now, this is a forever thing. How, if you're going to drive your car for 100,000 miles, how long do you have to have oil in it? 100,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you have to have air in the tires? 100,000 miles. Same way with your human lifespan and human health and function. You have to have all these nutrients all the time. And people, they take the stuff for a month or two, they get better, and they stop taking the stuff. And in 3 months' time, their problem comes back. Yeah, I tried it, didn't work. Well, it did work. You quit taking it. No, you got to take it forever. How long do you need oxygen? Forever. How long do you need water? Forever. How long you need the 90 essential nutrients? Forever. Okay.
Kim, is this the same client that was diagnosed as pre-diabetic?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he has ringing in the ears. His blood pressure is good. His blood sugar is 203 at his last blood test, and his glucose, he said, was pre-diabetic.
Okay, well, the blood pressure thing can be resolved with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets we talked about. It'll help support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And he should, because he's a pre-diabetic, he does need to get 2 bottles a month of the sweeties, so he can take 3 twice a day of the sweeties. And if he's on medication, don't cold turkey off the medication, but as things get better, you can slowly reduce medication based on the numbers. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from you every couple of weeks.
I will. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Kim. And next, let's move right over to Ruth Ellen, who has some questions coming in from YouTube.
Hello, Dr. Wallach and everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. So I have a question from Michael. He says his cat scratches and gets sores. I've taken him to the vet and they just give him a cortisone shot, which helps temporarily. We've done this for years. Any recommendations? Thanks.
Okay. We don't know how much the cat weighs, so I'm just going to say per 20 pounds of body weight, say the cat weighs 8 or 10 pounds, needs a half a scoop of the Arthritis. I'd go in the beginning, I'd go twice a day. So it'd be a whole scoop a day and half a scoop at breakfast, half a scoop at dinner time. So divide up his meals for that cat Arthritis. And then a good brand of cat food that has all the vitamins and minerals in it. Okay, not just table scraps. Okay. And then let's see here. Let's just go there. Okay, let's just go there.
Okay, thank you. And he wants to make sure the cat food is gluten-free.
Oh yeah, absolutely. None of the bad stuff.
Okay, all right. And
Would you add the EFA plus with that, Dr. Wallach?
Can't hurt. Okay, yeah. There's some EFA in the Arthritis, but it doesn't hurt to throw in more. If you're going to throw in some EFAs, I put in the EFA pluses, which are made from fish liver oil, and cats love that one. Okay. And just puncture them. They're soft gels, puncture them and squirt them onto the food. It'll just eat them right up.
okay. All right. And thank you so much. And the second question is from Kim. And she says, can supplements help with centralization syndrome of the nervous system, which is a pain syndrome? She is 5'7", 160 pounds. She gets up once at night to urinate. She has severe tinnitus, tingling sensations in body, small fiber neuropathy all over, no diabetes, currently using the brain and heart pack. Her age is 57. And she's been off gluten for decades. And she used to be a marathon runner. And she did not supplement when she was a marathon. I think.
Well, she weighs, you say 160 pounds?
Yes.
Okay, so, none of the bad foods. And if there's any question about that, like you say, we have the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 300 pages of safe recipes and safe cooking methods, and it has the good food, bad food list in it. That's Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Then 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full load training twice a day. 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you get 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they will help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. Also bone marrow, which helps with red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets and antibodies and all that kind of stuff. And this neuropathy, okay, and osteoporosis of the skull stuff going on. This is going to be helped in a remarkable way with this 2 healthy brain and heart packs and the MSM. And again, collagen peptides, okay? And if there's all these sort of things going on with the brain itself, don't forget I'd go with the I-26, 1 or 2 servings a day. The I-26 comes in pills, it comes in powder, comes in tablet. I like the chewables. They're soft chewables, they're not crunchy chewables. And I'd take 2 or 3 of those at lunchtime every day. And they taste like vanilla ice cream. Even little kids like them. That's the I-26. That's good for the brain and the spinal cord. And that's being impinged upon when you have osteoporosis of the skull and all these other issues and the tinnitus and ringing in the ears and so forth. It's all osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And so let's start there. And, keep in contact with us every couple of weeks, and we'll walk this lady through this. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wallach.
You're very welcome.
All right. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. And thank you, AJ, out on YouTube, making sure that we get notes to those who are out asking these questions. We appreciate that. And next, let's go to Deborah, who is here live with us. Deborah, welcome to Daily with Doc. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Doc, thanks. I have a couple of questions. I've got a woman who, a young woman who has had, she's a female that kind of had the whole gender concern issue and had taken a lot of testosterone treatments. And as a result, she's got a lot of facial hair, and she's trying, to get back to being.
Back up. Why did they give this girl testosterone?
Because she wanted to be a boy.
Oh, okay. This is one of those gender issue things.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Now, do you know what causes gender issues?
It's a lack of nutrients.
Yeah, lack of nutrients in the earliest parts of pregnancy, when the sperm fertilizes the egg. Okay, that's when it's determined whether you're going to be a boy or a girl. Okay, if you're not getting all the nutrients, the sperm is confused and the egg is confused. Okay. Okay, so when the baby's born, the baby's confused. Okay, it's not a choice. The baby's driven to go a particular direction. The baby is driven. Okay, and so this is all this gender issue thing is totally preventable, but people have to pay attention. Well, I'm not planning on getting pregnant. I wasn't planning on getting pregnant. Well, if you're in the age where you're still cycling, you don't know what's going to happen after a party, after a family reunion, all this kind of stuff, or you go on a vacation. You take your 90 essential nutrients and stay away from the bad foods. The numbers of gender issue problems will just decrease severely, because this happens in farm animals also. So the farmers learned a long time ago how to prevent gender issues in cows, because when a cow thinks she's a boy, that's not good. Or when a bull thinks he's a girl, that's not good. So we've been able to eliminate those issues in the animals by making sure that they were getting all these nutrients prior to conception. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is something that these medical doctors need to be thinking about what they're doing here. Okay. And so just because a little girl wants to be a boy, you don't give a little girl testosterone. Okay. That's not the right way to handle the problem.
So now what do we do? She's a young adult. What do we do now to support her in where she's at now?
Okay. Now she still has a gender issue. Is that correct?
My understanding is she does not want to do that anymore. That's not where she wants to be a girl, and she's working on being a girl.
Okay. Okay, that makes it easier. Okay. Then do you know how much she weighs?
I don't.
Okay. So let's say per 100 pounds of body weight, none of the bad foods, needs to take per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM. She can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I want her to get the Xera Fem, XERA-Fem, FEM, Zarafem. Have her take 3 of those twice a day. Okay, that's going to give her ovaries what they need to make estrogen and progesterone. Okay, and so that's very important. I also wanted to have the Synaptive. Have her take 3 of those twice, maybe 2 bottles a month. And Synaptive helps the brain cells talk to each other. So when one brain cell says, I want to be a girl, and the other brain cell says, I want to be a boy, they're going to communicate, right? But you got to give all of the nutrients necessary to make the girly stuff and don't push the boy stuff. If she's come to the conclusion, I want to be a girl now, that's good. Okay, and we can help her be very efficient in doing that. Okay.
Okay, awesome. And my other question is different person that has rheumatoid arthritis, and her doctor will not order the antibiotic to treat that.
Get a
So
different doctor. The city's full of doctors. Call the doctor on the phone. Hey, I want to have this minocycline because I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I want to take the nutrition approach to getting rid of my arthritis, but I need the minocycline to kill the mycoplasma, which is what's causing my rheumatoid arthritis. Nope, click, nope, click, nope, click. Yes. Okay, I want an appointment with you. Phone book's full of doctors.
yeah, she's in the military system. She's in the VA system.
Okay. Does she live in out in the woods, or does she live in the city?
No, she lives in the city.
Okay, well, she can still have a private doctor.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Deborah. And we have Jenny, she's an esthetician, and she made in the comments that you can wax the hair on the body until it's under control, that waxing does not cause more hair growth. So thank you so much, Jenny, for adding that. I love our community, Dr. Wallach. And then in regards to the rheumatoid arthritis and using that minocycline, you can go to rheumatology.org, and it has an article that supports the use of minocycline. Print it out, take it with you to the doctor and say, hey, look, this is a medical organization that is specifically for this condition, supporting the use of this. Write me a prescription, or I find somebody else that will. So, there's a lot of things that we can do as empowered individuals. We do not have to be a slave or bow down to what they say, especially when we know something to be different, something to be true. So rheumatology.org. And if you're here with us live in the Zoom, check out that chat menu, because Marilyn just put up the actual link directly to the RA treatment with the antibiotic. So thank you so much for adding that, Marilyn.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, let's go to, I'm going to say it might be probably Mrs. Lewis. Mrs. Lewis, go ahead and unmute if you would. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello.
Nope, not unmuting. All right, we're going to go right to the next hand, and that is Susan. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Yes, hello, thank you, doctor. I just want to also, first of all, thank you very much. I know we only got a few minutes here, but I am a coach, and I am a very happy camper at 79 years old. And
she's an awesome coach. I can attest to that.
I'm having so much fun. One of my clients has been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Her pain in her arms was so extreme, she takes the products, a lot of them. So she's very, very concerned about this polymyalgia rheumatica. And they gave her prednisone, 10 milligrams for 5 days. Her arms, she can lift things, but she can't reach out and do anything like pull herself into a bus or lift her legs up to get into the bus.
Okay. Well, when you have polymyalgia rheumatica, this is just a fancy name for rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia and all that kind of stuff going on. Okay. Do we know how much she weighs?
I would I'm gonna guess she's about 5'6" and she weighs about 140.
Okay. So want her to get rid of all the bad foods. All right. And then I want her to get on 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose of everything twice a day. I want to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM. She can take 3 for breakfast, 3 for lunch, 3 for dinner. They're going to support and promote maintenance, repair cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between vertebrae, bone, makes the bone itself. I want her to get the collagen peptides, get 2 of those canisters, take a scoop of that with their morning drinks or their evening drink. I also want her, of course, she does have a positive rheumatic infection. She needs to get the antibiotic, okay, the minocycline. And then I also want her to let's see here. I also want her to get her rebound or sports drink. She can go ahead and take a dose of that twice a day, the sports drink. If she use a can, she's got to pop the tops on them the night before she drinks them. Don't just pop the top and drink them. But the canisters and the sticks you can use right away because there's no carbonation in them. Okay. And let's see here. And so, yeah.
I think you got it, Dr. Wallach.
Huh?
I think you covered it.
I think, yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah, I think we got it covered because what she has is easily resolved. The entire thing is easily resolved. Again, remember, the doctors are treating symptoms.
Right.
Okay, the doctors are treating symptoms, and most people are happy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Oh, don't forget the CM cream and the Soothe from our
Hemp FX line.
yeah. Okay, yeah, it's Hemp FX. Okay, Soothe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question about the ESR blood test she said she's supposed to take. Is that going to do her any good to give her any information she needs?
I don't know what an ESR blood test is.
Erythrocytes.
Oh, erythrocytes.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, erythrocytes are sort of like they're sort of pre-red blood cell stuff and pre-white blood cells and so forth, and pre connective tissue cells and so forth. And it's one of those things where see, doctors are coming at this from 85 different directions to treat the symptoms.
Right.
Not down to the basic root cause, which is just really a simple nutritional deficiency here. Okay.
Okay. And could I ask you about I think you said methrocycline, and what is that?
Minocycline.
Minocycline.
Like minnow, like the bait fish, minnow. That kills the rheumatoid organism, which is the mycoplasma.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's,
All right, thank you
that's the only antibiotic that will kill it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Susan, for plugging in as a health coach and really stepping up for your clients. So, and I see Ruth Ellen, did you have something really quick? I know it's time to say goodbye to Dr. Wallach.
There's a question, a follow-up question, and it is, how long would a person take the minocycline prescription? And they're just curious.
Okay, minocycline, you're usually going to take it for 60 to 90 days, depending on the severity and how long you've had the infection. And the nutrients you'll be on forever.
Mm-hmm.
The nutrient program you'll be on forever. The minocycline, you're going to take 60 to 90 days worth.
And the doctor would decide what the dosage for that person would be.
Yeah,
correct?
It goes by body weight.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not
Thank you
like
so much.
it's not like they have to look in your eyes and conjure up a dosage or something. It's well documented.
Just checking. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for taking the time to be here with us. We greatly appreciate you and look forward to tomorrow where we meet again. Folks, we are here for you Monday through Friday, noon to 12:50-ish here as we are bringing Dr. Wallach, working with his schedule, but we want to make sure that our audience and also make sure that we are a resource to an even greater community of people who are like-minded and bringing this message to the world. And you being here, listening to this and sharing this helps not us, but it helps those that you love, those in your community. We are here because we have a passion for people. Yes, we do make money off of this, but then think about it. Anything that you buy, somebody's making money off of it. And the fact that we are doing this to help people and people are getting better and they're being able to have a more enjoyable life, there is nothing to feel guilty about that. So I'm speaking to each one of you certified holistic health coaches that are listening to this program. Be proud of what you do. You have purpose, and that is a purpose greater than yourself. And for me, I was given that purpose by somebody other than myself, other than Dr. Wallach, because I had an incredibly painful story. And I knew deep inside that someday I was going to be able to use my story to help others. And that's why I'm here. So why are you here? I want to thank my coaches that I have here with me as co-hosts, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Marilyn Pazura-Spear, and Sherry Browning. We have others that pop on with us throughout the week. And we're doing this because we do care. We want to make sure that this is a safe place that we can invite people and make sure that folks, if you're invited here by somebody specific, get back with them. Say, hey, I listened to that program that you shared with me. Thank you so much. How do I get the products that Dr. Wallach is talking about? And what's going to be the best answers for me? Make sure you get back with them. And coaches, make sure when somebody reaches out to you, you get back to them as quickly as possible. Be the best coach that you possibly can be as you are on this journey with them. My name is Becca Dukes, and I don't think I said that in the beginning. I'm learning. I'm told that it's okay to promote myself, but it's not myself that I'm promoting, and I'm promoting better health through supplementation, because again, we are not chemical deficient. We are nutrient deficient. And when the body is given what it wants and needs, the body itself does amazing things because it was divinely created. So until next time, I don't think I missed anything. If you are here and you found us and watching this program as a replay and nobody shared it with you, or you're part of the Critical Health News subscriber base or the Daily with Doc subscriber base, and you've never placed an order and never spoken to anybody before, feel free to use our website, dailywithdoc.com. We do have a store there. We have a contact us option there, where you can send us an email, send us what's going on with you. And somebody just said, is Doc on again today? Doc has several different presentations that he does throughout the day. So get back with the person that shared this program with you and ask them, hey, when else can I catch Doc? Otherwise, we will be back Monday through Friday, 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So that Pacific time is very important, folks. I have people that jump in right after we leave, but right now, you're at the end. So thank you so much for joining us. Also, if you're interested in being a coach and helping people, or even just having a business, helping people and then plugging them into Dr. Wallach's protocols that he is sharing with us freely, then use that contact us on the dailywithdoc.com and say, hey, I want to coach. I want a business. I want a business in helping people. But again, if somebody shared this program with you, get back with them, because they're there to help you as well. So until next time, bye for now.